while whistleblowers in certain cases can receive protection. For instance, in the case of exposing government corruption, leaking classified information without proper authorization is considered a crime. Chelsea Manning, a former U.S. Army intelligence analyst, was convicted for leaking hundreds of thousands of classified military and diplomatic documents, leading to a 35-year prison sentence later commuted. Example: Edward Snowden, a former NSA contractor, leaked classified documents detailing mass surveillance programs conducted by the U.S. government. His disclosures led to a global debate on privacy and government transparency, but he faced charges of espionage and theft of government property. 7. Iran. Harsh punishments for political speech. Iran's government tightly controls information flow, particularly when it comes to criticism of the regime or discussions about political and religious freedoms. The government uses punishment as a means of silencing dissent, particularly online punishments for information-related crimes. Censorship. The Iranian government heavily censors social media, foreign news outlets, and political content. Individuals who publish material considered anti-government, such as discussing human rights violations or advocating for political change, are often arrested and imprisoned. Espionage and sedition. Similar to other countries, leaking state secrets or engaging in espionage is punishable by long prison sentences or execution. Example: Nasser Zarafshan, a human rights lawyer, faced imprisonment for revealing details of corruption and human rights abuses in Iran. Iran frequently arrests journalists, bloggers, and activists who are seen as threats to the regime's control over information. The punishment known as breaking on the wheel. One of the most infamous and brutal punishments in history was the practice of breaking on the wheel, a form of execution that was used in medieval Europe. This punishment was reserved for the most serious crimes, such as treason, murder, or robbery, and involved a slow, painful, and public death. The victim was often tied or nailed to a large wheel, with their limbs, particularly the arms and legs, broken by heavy blows with a blunt instrument. Afterward, the person would be left to die either on the wheel itself or, in some cases, the body was hung in a public space as a warning to others. The excruciating pain, the long duration of suffering, and the humiliation of such a public display of execution made this one of the most horrific punishments ever devised in history. Though it was abolished over time due to its cruelty, this punishment stands as a stark reminder of how certain societies treated those they deemed to have committed unforgivable crimes. It is hard to imagine the psychological and physical torment endured by individuals subjected to such a fate. 1. China. Strict censorship and thought control in modern China. In a country, the government tightly controls information. Punishment for sharing state secrets or dissident opinions is severe. People can be imprisoned for internet censorship violations. Whistleblowers often face long prison sentences. Criticizing the government online is prohibited. Journalists sharing banned content face harsh consequences. Espionage is met with long-term imprisonment or execution. Spreading false information about state officials is punishable. Example: Ai Weiwei, a critic of government corruption. He was detained for his outspoken criticism. Despite his fame, he faced intense scrutiny. His case illustrates consequences for dissent. Another example: North Korea's extreme control of information. North Korea is deeply isolated from the world. The regime punishes those spreading hostile information. Information flow is tightly monitored. Individuals accused of defamation face criminal charges. Chinese law leads to imprisonment for defamation. North Korea's regime exercises absolute control. Harsh punishments deter unauthorized information sharing. Ai Weiwei's detention warned other activists. International awareness of such cases increased. Control over narratives extends beyond borders. Activists worldwide raise voices against suppression. Consequences for sharing state secrets are severe. Dissenters face ongoing threats of imprisonment. Government criticism remains a dangerous endeavor, but the fight for free speech continues. Global support for activists grows stronger. Stories of courage inspire others worldwide.